Oh, hi, I'm Marianne, and I'm here to talk with you today about a personal development workshop that we at In the Company of Horses have designed based on a book that I'm fascinated with, actually obsessed with, The Power of the Herd by an author named Linda Kohanov. The thing that I'm really excited about in this book is how so much of it resonated with me because of my experience and background with horses and equine assisted learning. Equine assisted learning is a modality of experiential learning where experiential learning has been proven to be retained, meaning you learn by doing. And when you're doing, things live differently, not only in your brain, but in your memory and in your actions, because you actually create a physical muscle memory doing things that, instead of just talking about things or thinking about things or writing about things or reading about things, you actually are out there doing it and practicing. And what's cool about doing that in the company of horses is because in that doing, there's such a sense of aliveness. There's such a sense of interaction, that it's personal and it's fun, and oftentimes it's comical. I'm not saying that experiential learning is easy, because you have to do it. You can't stand around and watch other people do it. You can't read about it. Thinking about it is helpful, but it's in the doing that the actual work gets done. So that's what I'm excited about this workshop. This workshop is for people who are up to stuff in life, people who are successful, already doing stuff, who actually can see the blocks and actually want to go to work on areas of life that aren't working or aren't working as well as you'd like them to be working. It's fun with horses in a sense that there's just nowhere to hide. And that just means that, and here's what I believe is the reason why. And I think it's because of the core and the DNA of who we are. Human beings are predators. Our eyes are in the front of our head. We do eat meat. Even if you're a vegetarian, you're still built as a predator. Okay, horses are prey animals with eyes on the sides of their heads. They have all different tendencies. You can just do a search on the internet to find out what the different tendencies of the prey animal and the predator are. However, humans are predators. Inside of that relationship, horses are keenly aware of the intention of predators. So as an example, you can watch any of those National Geographic films and you can see how the lions, it's only when the lions are awake and on the hunt that the herd of nearby grazing zebra or gazelle are even concerned. They just walk right by when the lions are sleeping or not on the hunt. So the intention is what makes the difference. And you'll see it in the arena all the time. When people have an intention of just petting and brushing a horse, there's a different interaction that the horse has. If they come in with an intention of feeding horses apples, there's a different behavior and instant feedback you'll get from the horses than if you have an intention to get them to jump something or follow you or have an agenda. So that happens all the time. It happens in our offices, it happens in our families, it happens in our lives. We want to get somebody to do something, agenda pops up, and all of a sudden our relationship is awkward or different. It's very rare that it's exactly the same as if we have some wonderful loving thing that we want to do with people. And what comes up is our automatic instinctual behaviors. And so there are types of people, types of animals with instinctual automatic behaviors. And in this workshop, we actually look at them, and you get to identify yourself. You get to see, mostly we're a combination of all different types of people. Very rarely are you going to find one person who's very true to any particular type. But we do have tendencies. We have automatic tendencies. We do a lot of we actually spend almost 100% of the time in this workshop in the company of the horses. There's no riding, so we're not going to be riding them, and you don't need any horse experience. So, and it doesn't matter if you have horse experience or you don't, the results tend to be the same. You're actually getting some honest feedback from the horses, and you're able to incorporate those things into your own personal life and development. You put them right into the work in your office, or you put them right into the work in your family, or wherever it is that you're looking for some sort of difference to be made. We do, the first thing we do is we get grounded in what's so. Many people the world over live in that their feelings or their emotions or their interpretations are the truth. And what's so interesting about that is there's like 10 billion people on the planet now. That means there's 10 billion observations, 10 billion interpretations, or I should say there's 10 billion interpretations and 10 billion different feelings about what those interpretations can mean. But an observation is something everyone can agree on. You know, there's a picture on the wall next to me. It's a picture, it's a calendar, it's a horse, there's flowers. That's what's so. There's a picture on the wall next to me. Behind me, over here, there's a map. Something we could all look at, we could all agree on. That's what it is. Okay, there's no interpretation necessary. But it's harder to do that when we're seeing living beings and they're doing things and they're interacting and they're moving. It's even harder to do that when it's personal and it's in our lives. So we get really super grounded in what's so. Feelings are not things. They're not what's so. They're feelings. You know, not that they're not real and not that we're not at the effect of them, but they have nothing to do necessarily with what's actually so. You know, so as an example, let's just say we have a conversation. You and I have a conversation, and you say to me, you know, Marianne, you know, that green shirt that you're wearing is so olive in color. And that's what happened, right? You said that green shirt that you're wearing is so olive in color. I can make up all kinds of things about that, and I probably will. I might even go change my shirt thinking olive isn't a good color for me, or green isn't a good color for me, or I'll usually go to the negative. Most people do. That's an example of an interpretation. What happened was there was a conversation. That's all that happened. I made up the rest of the story about it. And that's how we live our lives. And not that our interpretations are wrong or bad. They're just interpretations. They do keep us safe. They inform us about the future based on the past, because that's where all interpretations come from. Very rarely can they come from the present or even the future. So we get grounded in those things. We get really grounded in what's real. We use feelings as information, not as the truth. They're information. And that's where we work on things like emotional intelligence, where we get smart about what our feelings are telling us. So as an example, I like to use this, and this is something that came from Linda's book and that she uses in her guiding principle. She says, listen to your horse. You know, you want to listen to your body like the horse you rode in on. Okay, so if you were riding a horse and you are a horse person and you were out riding and all of a sudden your horse's body got tense and they maybe stopped and they started looking at something, and I have been on a horse where I have felt my horse's heart beating underneath me. And it was because there was a garbage can. You know, it was actually a big blue recycling can, and we had come around a corner and there it was, you know. Now I knew there was no danger, but my horse didn't know that. She had never seen that garbage can before. It was big and it was blue, and she had a very real concern about it. So I was able to notice how I felt, notice how she felt, because I got smart about those emotions instead of just, and here's what I didn't do. I didn't just get collected in that emotion with her and say, oh my God, it's a garbage can, I need to be afraid. I could, in my reasoning, I could say, wow, my horse is afraid of this garbage can because I felt it. I felt it with her. And I got scared feelings too. I could then direct what was happening and say, I could pet my horse and rub my horse, and I could say, you know, it's only a garbage can. And we just waited there a minute. We just waited for a little bit, and I could slowly feel her heartbeat coming down. And then slowly she was able to realize, oh, it's just a garbage can and we can walk right by it, which is what we did. Instead of both of us just panicking and using all of our energy to run in the other direction away from a garbage can. It wasn't necessary. But we do that in life. We do that all the time. We make up things. People explain to us that these things are scary and that we need to run from them. And we use all of our emotions and getting everybody all upset and excited. So when we have real emergencies, we don't have any energy left. It happens all the time. We're putting out fires that don't need to be put out. So when we're with horses, we can actually get grounded in what's actually real, what's actually important, and what's so, because the horses are going to be there with us all the time, and they're going to be just giving us instant feedback based on how we make them feel in the moment. They don't have a long-term agenda. I'm not saying that they don't have experiences that they don't bring with them, because they do. They have experiences that they bring with them. Usually, though, the horse is interacting with the human in the moment, right there in the moment. So if we don't if we don't live in those self-imposed limitations that are provided by others in our lives, we have access to something that's different. Now, self-imposed limitations can come not only from other people, they can come from the constructs of our society. But if we don't live inside of those imposed limitations, we have an opportunity then to do something different. The horses are challenging our beliefs all the time. You know, I had a gal say to me, you know, in the arena the other day, well, you know, these horses don't like wet hay. I don't know, you know, I see horses eat wet hay, AKA grass, all the time. You know, but that's a limiting belief because she was trying to use wet hay to get a horse to do something, bribery. Well, it wasn't true, but she put herself in that box that had her believe horses don't like wet hay, so this tool in getting this horse to do something doesn't work. We do that all the time. We do that in business every single day. We do that in our offices. We do that in our lives. We do that in our families all the time. So this workshop is about breaking free of those constraints, seeing where we have self-imposed limitations, seeing where we believe those self-imposed limitations and where we can actually do something different in the moment and create a new muscle memory, a new neural pathway. So right under this video, you can click the link below that says more information about personal development workshop, and you'll go and you'll be sent to another page that explains to you a lot of the exercises, explains to you what the 2-day workshop does, tells you about how much it costs. It gives you all the information that you need, and there's an opportunity to register there for that. But I want you to know that you can leave this workshop feeling far more powerful about your own self-expression, your own freedom to manage your direction in life. You know, the ones that are caused by, like the lack of freedoms that are caused by limiting beliefs. You can become free of those limiting beliefs, and you can actually change what's possible for you in your life at any given moment based on the experiences that you're going to have in this workshop. This workshop is for people who are up to stuff. If you're up to stuff and you want to have an experience that allows you to move past self-imposed limitations or limitations imposed by other people or limitations that are imposed by you on by the past, then this workshop is for you. Click on the link below and we'll have more information there. Thanks.